Now we're ready to look at how do I find the area under the curve. And again, we're going to do that using technology in StatCrunch. So this example says Tall Clubs International has a requirement that women must be at least 70 inches tall. Given that women have a normally distributed height with a mean of 63.8 and a standard deviation of 2.6, find the percentage of women who satisfy that height requirement and interpret the area. There's a lot of information in this example that I want to make sure that you start to notice. First and foremost, we are understanding from the second sentence that we're looking at something that is normally distributed. So that right away tells me how I'm going to start to handle this. I have a normal distribution. The second thing I need to recognize is that we're told that we have a mean of 63.8 and a standard deviation of 2.6. So I need to determine, is that mean and standard deviation a population information or is it a sample information? I hope that you see that because we're looking at, given that women have a normally distributed height, so we're kind of talking about all women, this would indicate this is a parameter or describing the population. Another way to identify that might be the fact that nowhere in here am I given a sample. I don't have a sample size of, say, 500 women who have an average height of 63.8. In fact, I don't have any sample size. So that would be something else that I would be looking for to determine whether or not something was a population parameter or a sample statistic. So because I know that this has a normal distribution, I'm going to go ahead and sketch my normal curve because I want to be able to reinforce this on my calculator. Normal curve here. We know that in the center of that normal curve is going to be the mean, which in this case is equal to 63.8. And I have a standard deviation equal to 2.6. So because we're population, I'm going to use the population mean variable mu and the population standard deviation variable sigma to illustrate this. Then the last sentence is, or the last part of that sentence, second sentence, is telling me what I want to look for. Find the percentage of women who satisfy the height requirement. So the height requirement is that you must be 70 inches or taller. You must be at least 70 inches. So here, 70 inches, and remember that this horizontal axis here is the height in inches. So 70 inches is somewhere over here. That's going to be X. And you must be at least 70 inches. So we can have inches, 70 inches or more. So I'm looking for then the probability that I have a person who has a height of X greater than 70 inches. And that's what I'm looking for. Again, we don't know how to calculate that area under that curve, but we do know how to let a calculator in StatCrunch do that for us. So in StatCrunch, I'm going to go to Stat, Calculators, and this is the normal calculator. So I'm going to choose the normal calculator, kind of easy. And here's the calculator here. We have already written on our paper that the mean that I'm interested in of 63.8, I have a standard deviation according to the problem of 2.6, and I'm going to change my probability statement here. So I want to look for greater than. Now you'll notice that this is different from our binomial calculator in that I only have two choices. So I need X is greater than, and the minimum height is 70 inches. So when I hit compute, I find out that this area red, notice that it's shaded to the right. So even though it doesn't match my picture perfectly, it's still fairly close. That area is 0.009 if I round up. So the probability that a person meets this requirement is 0.009. So the probability that a randomly selected woman will meet this criteria is 0.009. The percentage of women who satisfy this height requirement is less than 1%.